Are you an investment property owner that's interested in selling your property, but you're concerned about paying a lot in capital gains? If you are, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. Hi, my name is John DeHart. I'm with the Homes from DeHart Real Estate team, powered by Keller Williams here in McLean. And we have a phenomenal guest on the show today. We have Bill Harrington from Realty Exchange. He's a 1031 expert. He's going to tell us all about how to defer taxes when you sell your investment property. So, Bill, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Let's just start. What is a 1031 exchange? What is it all about? Tell us about it.
Sure. So, a 1031 exchange is in the tax code, and it allows an investment property owner to trade, swap, exchange a property, an old property, for a different property, and you don't have to pay tax to trade for a different property. Think of it as I own a rental today and I want to move that rental somewhere else and reestablish my rental someplace else, better property, whatever. You don't have to pay tax to just move your rental someplace else. It's a very simplistic way to describe it, but that's mechanically what's happening.
Oh, wow. So Bill, we've worked together, over a dozen times now. You're obviously the one man that you need to be talking to about this about this endeavor. If you're looking to sell an investment property and you're looking to not pay the capital gains right now, you basically you have to buy another property. Now, how soon do you have to do that? How do the mechanics work on the 1031 exchange?
Yeah, the way the government structured this is, it comes from a court case where there was a delay between giving up ownership of the old property and getting the new. So if somebody just sold the property, they pay their taxes. You sell something, you pay your taxes. So the government created the role of a qualified intermediary, which is what I am as a middleman, that I step into the transaction and bridge you from the old property to the new. And the premise is that you give up the property, but you don't get anything. You don't get any of the money, you don't benefit from the sale. And then we quickly sell the property, take the money and buy what you tell us to buy. So you had property, you give it up, you didn't get anything out of it, but then you still own real estate when it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. And you got to use a middleman, a qualified intermediary like us to get that transaction to happen. So we're a key component of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the government did set us a period of time to do it. When the original court case came out, it was over multiple years and the government didn't like that. So they gave us 180 days to get this done. From closing, giving up ownership of the old property to owning new is 180 days. So just short of 6 months, you got to be done, ownership to ownership. And as part of that process, what the government said, listen, you got to know what you want to buy very quickly. And so they added what's called an identification step, where you got to give me, the middleman, a list of properties we're going to buy in the first 45 days. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 hurdles for the exchange. You give up the ownership. You got somebody like me involved before closing. You got to own the new one in 180 days. And in the first 45 days, you've got to give me a list of properties that we're going to buy with the money from your sale.
So you give them the list. How many can be on the list?
Yeah, great question. So there's 3 rules that the government defined. One is called the 3 property rule. You can give me a list of 3 of any value. So it could be skyscrapers, it could be anything, just any value. Okay?
Right.
The second rule is called the 200% rule. If the list is 4 or more, so it only applies if you've got 4 addresses or more on the list. The list value, have to add them all up, cannot be more than 2 times what you sold. If I use an example, we sold at $500,000. That was our contract price. You could give me a list of 1 million. So 4 or more, it'd be limited to 1 million.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And the third rule is called the 95% rule, which we rarely see. It's the catch-all. If the list is more than 3 and the value exceeds 2 times what was sold, you got to buy 95% of the list. So functionally, you got to buy the whole list, and we rarely see that.
So right now, we're in the middle of doing a 1031 exchange together.
Yep.
And the seller. So first of all, we found a property owner who more or less had owned a property here in Falls Church, and they're just ready to get out of being a rental property owner. And I visited with them, and they bought the property for $75,000,
right.
And now it's worth $825,000.
The government's waiting for it.
Right. So the government's waiting for them. So basically, what what I sat down and said, well, I understand you don't want to be a property owner in this particular property. It happens to be a house that's going to be torn down.
Right.
So,
Knocked down.
it had a lot of deferred maintenance and this sort of thing.
Sure.
So we sat down and we said, look, we could really save you a ton of money, from, at least deferring taxes, and I can find you, if I can find you a property that might be in a better condition, and in an easier, maintenance program.
Right.
And we can handle all the maintenance for you. Would that be of interest? And he said, heck yeah. So we went out. So this is all done off market. We found him a buyer for his property, tear down property. And we just went under contract on a townhouse that's in really great shape. And it actually already has a tenant in it.
Wow.
So it's already cash flowing. It's going to get him the amount of money that he needs to get out of it. Plus we manage it. So all the headaches are gone.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a huge win-win.
Right.
And he was probably going to be paying upwards of $200-something thousand when he paid that tax, and now he gets to defer it. He still has to pay the tax at some point if he sells the townhouse, right?
Yeah, because you're continuing your investment, just moving it somewhere else. All the gain, all basis that's out, the money you put into it originally, it all moves to the new place. You just have a different address and you keep going.
Okay.
It's called continuity of investment. You're just continuing the investment somewhere else. Better property. That's the whole point, right? Get a better property.
Okay. Well, look, you do a heck of a job for us. You kick butt every time. We're really happy with the experience. If you have any questions for Bill, his number is going to be here on the video. And if you have any questions about if you're a property owner and, especially investment property, and you're looking to, potentially get into another investment property or just even cash out, and you just want to talk about, what that looks like, feel free to give us a call. I'd be happy to help you. Thanks again for watching the video and have a great day.